Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit.
I'm Master Nick.
I'm Lady Dee.
We are the Dom Life.
This podcast contains sexually explicit topics and adult content.
It is intended for listeners 18 and older.
The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. And we are back.
It's very nice to be back in our room.
It is. I do like this atmosphere.
It's been a while. We don't do a lot of them here lately, and so it's good to be back.
It is. It is. We need to do a whole lot more from this area of the house.
And you've upgraded our system a little bit.
I have. So we have purchased new cameras, and if this goes good,
I'm worried.
then you will be able to watch us. We will be posting probably on YouTube and TikTok and Clapper and definitely some clips, but hopefully we'll get the whole episode.
Not just clips. We're hoping for the whole episode. Yep. We haven't been able to do that yet.
So this is a step up for our podcast, for our listeners, to where now you can hopefully watch us, and we will see. This is kind of our test run.
It is.
To determine whether or not this is something we can do.
Be patient with us.
Yes, but hopefully everything goes well and you'll be able to see it. If not, you can always continue listening.
Absolutely.
Before we get into our show, we do have a few shout outs and other items that we would like to talk about.
Yes.
So we are careful not to gender identify others when not knowing their pronouns, but sometimes it happens.
Yeah, we apologize if we accidentally do it during an episode. We did the whole Kinktasia episode without knowing people's pronouns, and we misidentified somebody's gender. So we're just saying that if it does happen, we apologize in advance. We try very, very hard not to classify somebody without knowing their pronouns.
Right. But with that being said, while we was out and about in the Louisville area at a friend's comedy show,
yay,
we happened to run into one of the performers.
That was my favorite. It was my favorite performance that night.
Yes, and ran into him, and his name is Dan.
Sir Dance-A-Lot.
He goes by Sir Dance-A-Lot as his stage name. I honestly think he was a little more excited to meet us than we was to meet him.
It was so great because he geeked out.
It was awesome.
So nice. And he was just this very upbeat.
I mean, his positive energy and his persona and his attitude about life.
And for a man to say that, that's a lot. That's what we talked about when we were driving home. He's like, Master Nick was like, he is so very positive.
Yeah.
And he had actually taken the audio clip from our podcast where I was describing the scene. He took it and he put it on his Facebook.
Yep.
So
it had a lot of views, and like I said, we did get to meet him. We talked to him. He actually pulled his chair over to our table. We spent the rest of the night talking to him, and I even told him I want him on the show.
Right.
So hopefully,
because he does a lot of entertaining and stuff, and it's a lot of work, and we'd like to hear what it takes to be that kind of a performer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Dan, hopefully you're still listening.
Yay!
Reach out to us, man. We want to get you on here. The other thing that we talked about from Kinktasia was one of my curiosities when we seen the elf ears.
Yes.
And
I was trying to figure out
what kind of kink or what it was. So the person that was wearing the elf ears that night actually messaged us, reached out to me, and their name is Lunith. And it's come to find out it's not technically their kink. It is more of their identity. So I'm still researching that. We're still trying to find out more. But Lunith, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
We love hearing from you.
I'm still interested. You still got my curiosity kind of way up there as far as
we asked her some question about the ears and where she got it and how she does it. And it's she did say she identifies as she or fae. Now I don't know all the variations of the fae, but I think it's awesome.
Yep, it was really, really cool.
I'm sorry. I almost lost my train of thought. Let me just go on. So all of the Doms are currently running scared because, they are though.
No,
they are because it's the subby episode. We're getting ready to record next week, the subby episode. Sadly, you will not hear it until the 13th and the 20th, if I have my dates correct. But we are recording it on Saturday, and all the Doms are getting their business aired out there alive for all you to hear.
Mm-hmm. We'll see how well this goes. But on to our episode.
Yes, let's move on to our episode because it's shocking. It's shocking to me that we haven't done an episode on this before now.
No, I'm stunned. With this many episodes, we haven't spoken about one of my favorite implements. Can you guess what we're going to be discussing today?
Well, sir, if they listen to the last episode, teaser, then they won't have to guess because it's all about the electric wand.
It is the electric wand. Some of the names for this tool is the electric wand, E-stem, violet wand, electric stimulation. There's a lot of terminology. There's a lot of ways to talk about it. We basically call it the electric wand.
Yes, all the time. That's what we
go
say.
by with. So what are parts of the tool?
Oh, you're going to get the technical part of this.
So I'll get the technical part of it.
I just get the enjoyment part.
So before I talk about the part of the tool, I did a little research. I did a little digging prior to sitting down to record this. And what I did find out is this originally started back in the early 1900s as an over-exaggerated medical device.
Over-exaggerated.
Yes, so it was one of those medical breakthroughs where they can cure wrinkles and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It did have a different name to it back then, and I believe it said in 1995 is the first known electric wand that was sold for sexual stimulation.
Nice.
So this does date back, over 100 years old. And just some interesting facts about it. And it was pretty cool to learn that it's been around that long. And it's growing more and more popularity as it goes. I do all of my shopping from the Violet Wand store. That is where we've got my kit, where it came from. And it's also where they've got a lot of information. If you're new to it, if you're interested in learning more about it, they have a lot of neat articles and a lot of topics.
On the actual
website itself.
I've not done any research on it because I just get to enjoy the pleasure part of it.
Yeah, you do. So basically what the wand is, you have the wand, which is the handle, and it has an intensity dial on the bottom of it. Now mine is the Tesla violet wand. There is other violet wands that are available. You can buy some on Amazon. Even at the Violet Wand store, they have a couple of variations. I have the Tesla Violet Wand, and it is more for the intermediate to advanced people. They do have some that are more for beginner to intermediate.
Well, I'm curious what makes the difference. Like, what's the difference with the beginner? Is it less intense?
It's not as complicated to operate. With mine being the Tesla, I do have the option of dialing it down. As far as how much intensity it comes from. Mine has the foot pedal, which is the on and off switch.
Yeah, you did some research on the switch one from them, but
yes.
Currently you'd have to hold it.
Correct.
In order to have it.
Correct. They just came out with that model not too long ago, within the last year or so.
There's some benefits to it, so you're talking about potentially getting both, having both.
Right. If you was to take my Tesla Violet Wand and plug it directly in, it would be on all the time. which means you cannot change electrodes. You can't change
You
anything.
can't pop it in and out without
Right.
hitting the switch.
Right. So mine came with a foot switch. That's how I turn it on and off. And they have just came out with this new model that has a thumb button that you can press and hold. And I do see benefits of having that with some of the electrodes that I have.
Quick change of the electrodes. If you're doing just an electric wand
Yes.
then having that would allow you to flip it quicker. But
Correct.
for us, we mix it up a lot with floggers and stuff. So you're popping it out, setting it down anyways, because then you pick up a flogger or another implement to use on me, which is amazing.
Right. The one reason that I wanted one with the thumb switch is one of my electrodes is a brush. And that brush is very soft to touch. And I could see times where I would like to have that in and just rub up and down your back.
Is
or
that
your
the
leg or
metal
something.
one?
Yeah, it's the one that produces the very bright white spark when it hits.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of pain, like a lot of intensity.
It's pretty intense. But I could very easily just be rubbing your body and give you that sensual feeling of a brush.
But you had to have
and then hit the button and turn it on to actually intensify the electric shock.
Right.
So I do see some advantages of that. There is an attachment that converts the wand so you can conduct the electricity rather than the wand. It's called the body electrode. And there's 3 different techniques that you do. You use the basic standard technique of holding the wand, inserting an electrode, and then touching the person with the electrode.
Uh-huh.
All right, the body contact. Now you can do indirect or reverse on it. So what I do is called indirect, where I will plug the body contact into my wand. I will hold the other end of it and turn it on, which then electrifies me. So anything that I hold that is metal that I touch you with now will shock you.
Yes.
To do that reverse, I would strap the body contact on you.
Right.
And then now you are electrified, and anything metal that touches you would then shock you and probably me.
Right.
Now, I do not like to be shocked.
What?
I
mean,
do
you
not,
have an electric
I know,
wand.
but I do not like the feeling of being shocked. So
funny story.
I do everything I can to not get shocked. Yes, very funny story.
Funny story. Which is why I laughed when he mentioned the body.
Yes. So we had just purchased the electric wand, and it came in, and I was so excited to use it. And I thought, we're going to hook this up tonight. We're going to test this out. We're going to play with it. And that's what we did. So we came to our bedroom.
And we did it in the dark, some of it in the dark, that we could see the electric.
Yep. And I'm using all the electrodes on you. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this body contact cable now. We're going to see how well this works. So I plug in the body contact cable. I turn it on. I'm using some other of the electrodes with you where I'm holding them and they're electrified.
Right.
And I'm running up and down you.
Oh, yeah. It was amazing. And it was our first time, and I remember it clearly.
So do I. And I turned to turn it off. I went to hit the foot pedal, and I slightly lost my balance. And I missed the foot pedal, and I landed on the metal register for the HVAC vent, which is metal. So holding the body contact cable and my toes touching the metal floor register lit my ass up.
The swear words coming out of your mouth when you did that. I was like, what happened?
Holy
it was just
hell.
electric.
Yeah. And again, it wasn't bad, but I don't like the shock feeling.
And it was unexpected.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely bad.
We really enjoy this, and we enjoy it in play. So we do a lot of dungeon play at the club, and the electrodes that you put in, of which he just bought a whole bunch more, they are amazing to watch. So it's also a performance of some.
Oh, yeah.
So I love the electric. You have to enjoy it going through your body in order for it to be pleasurable for others to watch. Because otherwise you're trying to avoid it and it's not fun. But you have a bunch of different attachments.
Oh, yeah.
The electrodes, right? That's
Yes.
the electrode part.
Those are the electrodes.
And he has some amazing.
Yep, I have them. And again, when I bought my kit, it come with a lot of electrodes, and they vary in intensity. Some of them are a very low intensity. Some of them are a very high intensity. For you, there is probably half or just a little bit more than half of them that you do not like because they are a little bit higher of intensity than what you normally go for.
Normally. See, so there are days where your body wants, like my body wants a little bit more intense.
Yes.
And so there have been times where he's upped it with various other implements that I normally don't enjoy.
We was at the Grand Fetish Affair in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I used the Mylar flogger
I don't
on
like
you
that
that
normally.
night. You have never,
like it.
The one time that you wanted it and enjoyed it and have never wanted it since, you don't, so it's just a certain whatever type
Last
mood
night
you're
I
in.
probably could have taken more of the electric wand.
You think so?
I was enjoying it more than the flogging for some reason.
Right. And that's how you was up there that night. But more often times than not, you don't enjoy most of them that I have.
He's such a, meh, meh, meh. Like, I'm just saying, Master, I do enjoy it. The ones that I don't enjoy are like metal and nobody else. Like, not everybody, most people don't enjoy it. Did you hear me flip through like the options in my head?
Wow.
That's how I talk in my head.
But again, it is a great showpiece. We have done demonstrations on it. That was one of the implements Swinger Society had asked us to do a demonstration on for their last takeover was the electric wand. And it was one that I was dreading, but it turned out to be great. It is a great showpiece. It does usually always draw a big crowd. And it is a lot of fun to use it and to get the reactions and then to really test and play with each electrode to find out how intense it is and all the different areas that you do like and you don't like. Those are fun to explore.
That's the next thing is where on the body can you use the electric wand? Where can you,
So it depends on the electrode itself. Now, there is some electrodes that are made for external use only. They do make electrodes that are for internal use if you would like to experience that. All the ones that I have are for external use. You can use them anywhere on your body. It's actually one of the most safer electronic toys that you can use alongside of dildos. That was another thing that I read is it is as safe as a dildo. The chance of you getting hurt or hurting someone with it is very slim due to it being, electrified. So it is safe to use anywhere on the body. Now, one thing to keep in mind is body piercings. If you have metal body piercings, you do have to be cautious around that. Reason being, you are sending a spark to a metal object. That metal object will heat up.
Right.
I always ask if I have somebody new or something, do you have body jewelry? Is it metal? That way I know where to try to avoid. An occasional hit with the electric wand onto a metal body piercing won't hurt anything. If you continuously hit that, and it will start heating up, and then you can start causing bodily damage through the piercing hole.
Right.
So you want to be cautious. You can hit the body jewelry, just don't focus on it for a long amount of time. The other thing is, depending on which intensity electrode you have, obviously like flogging and canes and paddles, the backside of the knees, the crease of your elbows, those are usually more sensitive areas. So
back of your neck is the big one.
Back of your neck as well.
A lot of the times you'll go up to the top of my neck because you're looking for a reaction.
Right. So you just, depending on which intensity electrode you have, and again, it's learning. Some people really enjoy that type of pain in a sensitive area. Some people do not. So it goes back to communication with your partner.
You watch everybody very closely.
Right.
So whether they say something or not, you're focused on their body. So you're
Right.
seeing their smaller reactions to it.
I try to stay, if somebody new, either on their arms, like their forearms, or their back between their shoulder blades and down their spine or something like that. Those are, areas where people can usually tolerate a little bit more. And then if they really start to liking it, then I will start exploring, other areas that most people do or don't enjoy.
Right.
But usually when somebody walks up, wants to feel it, the first thing I do is try it right on their forearm.
Both men and women,
Yes.
we do that a lot. At every time you have that out at the club, typically it draws a crowd, and then you're explaining it and showing it to them because they don't know. And there's some pretty common questions that are asked.
There's always questions.
First one, does it hurt?
Well, it depends on what you consider as hurt. Some people,
Does it hurt?
Some people can tolerate it very well.
There was one lady one night that was able to take it all the way up to your most
Yes.
maximum intense electrode at the highest level. It was like nothing.
And she stood there with a smirk on her face, like, is that all you got?
But when it hit, when that last one, when you did it, she did not smirk. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, she kind of she was able to feel it then. But yes, again, it's all in what your pain tolerance is. To some, it's like champagne bubbles fizzing against your body. And to some, they have described some of the electrodes as getting a tattoo. If you've ever been tattooed and feeling the needles going in and out, a lot of it goes back to a tattoo. Does a tattoo hurt? Some people can lay there like a rock.
Right.
And some people can't take it at all. So it's knowing your body and knowing what you're able to tolerate pain-wise.
And when you begin it, you always do it on a low setting.
Absolutely.
With a low intensity.
Absolutely.
So that they can at least, if they don't like that, then they're not going to like anything else.
Correct.
They're done at that point.
Correct.
We're not going to switch out the electrode. We're going to just thank you for trying.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Yep. It's always one of the lowest intensities, and I always back it down because I can always go up, but if I hit you with my highest intensity, you're done. You're not going to feel anything else.
So if you're ever interested, you're at the club, we're out and about, please come up to us. We are more than willing to let you feel it. Obviously, you have to wait when we're not in the middle of a scene, whether it's with us or with another person. But if you wait there patiently, most of the time at the end of it, the 5 or 6 people that are gathered around, he'll be glad to let you feel it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we even done a group session a few times ago. We was in the dungeon, and there was 7, 8 people that was wanting to feel it.
It was so much fun that night.
I would put in an electrode, and I'd start at 1 and work my way down. It was like, okay, I'm going to go up in intensity. And some people stayed in, and some people was like, no, I've had enough.
Tapped out.
But, so I got everybody got to feel the intensity that they wanted to feel that night before walking away. So it was great.
Another comment that is usually made.
Why does it smell like I'm burning?
Oh my God, my hair, is it on fire?
And it does. It does produce a burning smell. However, I have yet to see any hairs singed. It doesn't technically burn you, but it does produce the smell of burning hair.
I think of, when I smell it, I think of storms. When there's an electric storm and you all that electricity in the air.
Right.
That's the way I...
Right. The best I could tell from the research is the only thing that's really burning is like dead skin cells.
Things I didn't need to know.
So that is from what best I could tell, that is about where the smell comes from. Again, you will smell it. Some is stronger than others, again, depending on which intensity electrode you're using. But no, it doesn't burn your skin. It doesn't singe your hair.
Okay, but on the flip side of that, we've had some people who have very sensitive skin
Yes.
go home and mention to us, like the next time, like the next day, the shower made them extra sensitive. They
Right.
felt like it was hot, 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 kind of like when you get a tattoo or whatever.
Yep.
But it was, she said, there wasn't any visible marks that you could see. Now,
Right.
other people have visible marks. If your skin marks, anytime you bump into something or rub against something, this is going to mark
Yep.
you. It will fade. It's not permanent
It is not
damage.
permanent, right? And again, a lot of it is the how sensitive is your skin. If you have real bad sensitive skin to where you run a finger down your arm or your back and it leaves a mark, the electric wand's going to leave a mark.
Right. Because you're brushing it with the different implements as the electricity is sparking into it.
Right. But it is definitely something to do. And Sarah, another question I was asked was, what does it feel like on my balls? And
more than once.
More than once.
And
I guess to you, if you're curious to know what this feels like on your balls, let me know. I ain't scared. I'll put an electrode in there. I'll zap your balls. And then you can tell me how it feels on your balls.
But you did it one time.
I did do it.
So tell me what that experience was.
Well, this was in our episode from the club takeover. But again, the guy came to me. He had felt it earlier on his arms, and he came back later in the night and asked what it felt like on his balls. And I told him I have no idea, but if he showed me a ball, I would let him find out.
Showed me a ball.
So he did.
Guess what happened?
He plopped his ball out, and I fucking zapped him right on his nut. And he squalled, he jumped, he ran in place, he hooted, he hollered, he stood there for a minute and said, "Do it again." So I turned the electric wand back on. I reached back up there and I hit him again. And it seemed like it hurt, but it also seemed like he loved it. So he did ask for it twice. So if you're curious, what does it feel like on your balls? Hey, we can find out real quick. I'm not going to tell you what it feels like, but I'll be more than happy.
He'll never do it to himself.
He'll know, but I will be happy to do it to you, and then you can share your experience with the world.
So some safety things.
Yes.
Why don't we talk about what are some things to be aware of when you're playing with the electric?
Well, obviously, the first thing I learned on night one was don't do this shit barefooted.
I did it barefoot too because I'm a submissive and I spend a lot of time. Once we get into the dungeon, I usually take off my shoes because we're playing and running around and doing whatever. And so I was without shoes and I kept hitting the pedal and I was like, it's zapping me.
Yep, it does. So if you don't like the electric feeling, wear shoes that are very well grounded.
I do like the feeling, but I don't like it on my toes.
So the other thing,
future punishment.
The other thing that I've noticed, so I do let people borrow my wand to, if their partner wants it to feel it. And, so I have handed offs, but one thing to keep in mind is the angle at how you hold the wand. Now where the handle is and the electrode goes into, it's for mine, it's a collet is what it goes into.
A what?
A collet.
Okay.
And if you're not careful with the angle of how you're holding it, you will create a spark between the collet and somebody's skin if that is the closest part to it. I felt it,
and it's more intense.
It is absolutely more intense
than what the electrode is giving you.
So you want to make sure and keep the wand at an angle to where the electrode is going to touch before the base of the collet touches the skin. So that is definitely one thing that I always, if somebody else is using it, that I try to keep an eye out for, because it does it. You can hear it pop, and you can tell the difference in the intensity of it. And I know it's a lot harder that way.
The body electrode is another one.
Oh yeah.
It can be a lot of fun because people around the room will all touch each other.
Yeah.
And then one person touches it or you touch them and it travels through everybody. There was that night, right? Was that the same night or a different night where there were 5 sitting up on a bench, and they kept doing it because they were passing it through each other.
Right. So they would want me to touch them, and right before I touched them, they would grab somebody, and it would shoot through them. Now, keep in mind, if I am the one holding the body electrode, you will know that you will hear me telling other people, don't fucking touch me. Don't touch me. If you start getting too close to me, I'm going to scream at you, don't touch me. Because if I'm holding that and somebody comes up and touches me, I feel it.
We have a bratty sub who says she's not a sub, but she's a bratty girl, and she kept trying to give you hugs and touch you.
So not while I'm holding the body electrode. So keep your distance from me.
I'm a good submissive. I got between you two.
Yeah.
You might get kicked. I mean, he just has these weird reactions.
When I get shocked, there's no telling what the hell happens. I'm liable to throat punch you. I'm liable to kick you in the butt. I ain't no telling what's going to happen. So
one of the other things, and I don't know that it's dangerous or it's just something to be aware of. If you're playing with the electric wand and you're keeping it on the same place, it's not fun.
No.
It gets to be too much. Like it's almost like it is burning because you're putting a lot of electricity in one single spot.
Yeah, and it's not pleasurable for the person getting it because again, eventually it will start heating up.
Yes.
One of the electrodes I have is a branding electrode. Now it is supposedly made to brand people.
Right.
It is a time-consuming job
to do so,
to try to brand somebody, because for that you have to keep going over the same spot. You know, if you make a line, you're doing 3 or 4 passes on that same line or more in order to get the branding done. And it's one that I will use, but I don't use it as a branding electrode. Because again, going over the exact same place time after time after time again, it will start to feel irritated. It will start heating up, and it's just uncomfortable for people.
Right.
I think our listeners needs to hear the electric one.
I think that our watchers need to see the electric wand.
If this works out, yes, they will get to watch it.
It would be awesome. If not, then you just get to listen. A lot of people enjoy the sounds of our podcasts. Recently, we did a wax play session, and we understand we've had quite a few people come up and say, wow.
Now, the electric one has been used in the dungeon play date with Sir Dante and Zora.
And Chris.
And it was used with you, Mandy, and
Chris. I think that's how I got my fuck me running.
Yeah, you got the fuck me running yellow. Yep. But we will get the electric wand out and let you hear it. All right. So we have temporarily made us
mobile,
and we're going to try out the electric wand to hopefully let you all see some of the attachments that go along with it.
And hear the sounds, because it's pretty amazing.
And hear the sounds. So you'll see me step out of camera every once in a while. So we'll start off with a fairly light intensity electrode. This is kind of like a comb. So obviously you can hear it whenever I turn it on. And now you'll get to hear it when I use it on her.
I am not warmed up at all, am I? Shoot. Oh my God.
So that is the comb.
And see, you can smell the ozone. That's the word I was like, the ozone.
Right. So next we will go to a blue phosphorus electrode. It's really pretty.
No. Oh my gosh. I need my flogging. Ooh, sir.
So Lady Dee is not warmed up.
I'm not warmed up. I just snorted.
This is a lot more brutal for her.
Maybe it's good for Master Nick. He's like, look what I get to do.
So let's just go ahead and grab one that she doesn't like. And this is the little brush.
Oh, no. I'm so not
amazing.
warmed up. I feel every bit of it. Oh, no.
This one produces such a beautiful white spark.
Maybe I don't need a microphone. Oh, holy crap. Oh.
One more time.
Oh.
Well, that shorted out the episode.
Maybe we need to take it to a full dungeon episode.
I can agree with that. Let us do some more working and testing with our cameras.
And then we'll do a full episode, maybe multiple people, because
Yes.
I think we should spread that joy around.
Yes. And we will do a dungeon play date with nothing but the electric wand and all the amazing attachments.
Perfect.
Until then, make sure and stick around for our next episode, as we are going to interview Shannon from LNK.
Sparkle Moonbeam.
Yes. So we're going to have her in on Friday to do the interview.
And then we're actually going to drop it on Sunday, which never happens.
Exactly. So stay tuned, stick around. Don't forget to give us a like and a follow.
Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com, where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.